بهؤلاء الكلمات. He would rarely ever get up from a gathering, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, except that he would pray for his companions with those words. And I may have left out one of the phrases. There's a total of 10 phrases. My memory is not good. Wallahu a'lam.
Jazakallah khairan. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward our brother Abu Abbas Musa Richardson for the kalima. And I think that will be the seal from the Dawah that will conclude this knowledge-based seminar. And excuse everyone, I've asked for their pardon for the taqsir or anything that we might have come up short in, whether it be a slip of the tongue in the rights of our brothers and sisters, or something in which every human being, his natural disposition is upon, which is of having some type of affair which he will come up short at. And that's something that's natural for all of us in general. And that's the reason why you'll find that Allah Ta'ala says, there's so many places in this book about al-afu, forgiving and pardoning for your brothers and sisters, because all of us as human beings naturally come up short. So as us, even from myself and on behalf, like we said, on the administration and the security and the people who also had shared and participated in order to make this scholastic-based seminar possible. Then, like we said, we ask everyone to pardon us for whatever we came up short at. Then, likewise, we want to also thank everyone for coming. Secondly, for coming and participating and helping this happen and helping us actualize this, I wouldn't say project for lack of better words, but this affair in which was very beneficial for these past 3 days. And may Allah reward our mashayikh, Shaykh Ubaid, Shaykh Ubaid ibn Sulaiman al-Jabiri, hafidhullah wa ra'ah, and likewise Abu Usama, Shaykh al-Allama, Abu Usama, Abdullah ibn Abdur Rahim al-Bukhari, hafidhullah wa ra'ah, rahimahu. But anyway, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also reward our mashayikh who also gave their kalimat or their muhadarat that were nafi'ah, that were very beneficial, and take a time out of their busy schedules, even though some of them are sick, and especially Shaykh Ubaid, hafidhullah, and also Shaykh Abdullah al-Bukhari, who is also likewise very busy. And also the students of knowledge that have come from remote distance places, such as our brother Abu Abbas, and also likewise Umar Quinn, who came from a very far distance in order to come by car, which was about 8-hour drive he came, just to come up here and benefit the community and benefit the people. And likewise our brother, like we said, Abu Abbas Musa Richardson, hafidhullah, likewise came from a remote distance place in order to come and benefit the people. It was still far. 5 hours, wasn't it? 4 hours is far. That's not that's what about ساعات بعيد مسافة بعيدة. But that 4 hours is still a drive, but he didn't come 8 hours. But he came 4 hours, which is still a drive. But for brothers, like we said, again, pardon us for what we came up short in. And also likewise, again, in order to make these type of affairs and different things that are beneficial possible for the future, then we need ta'awun, cooperation amongst ourselves, and likewise to also make sure that we have light hearts for each other for what we come up short in. Like I said, the taqsir warid, coming up short is going to happen from us. But we have to always make sure that we try to help each other where we come up short in, and we also complete where we come up short in, so we can always be complete. Because a person, al-mar'u da'if bi nafsih qawiyya ma'a ikhwaneh, that a person is weak by himself, but he's strong with his brothers, and he's strong with the people. So wherever we come up short in, we complete each other, fulfill that space or that gap or that void or where we came up short in. So again, like I said, we ask Allah to forgive us, and also reward the brothers and the sisters who came and also participated, and the people who cleaned up the masjid, the security, everyone that came that participated, because some of the brothers here stay all the way up to Fajr for the past week, 3 or 4 days. Some people stayed in order to make sure everything was set up properly, stayed up almost to Fajr. And after we had shut down for the past couple of days, people stayed another 3 hours after they closed down the masjid to make sure the masjid was clean. And the sisters also, after they left, they had stayed an extra 3 or 4 hours to make sure that the masjid was put to place and everything was well kept and put everything back in its proper place, cleaned the masjid. So like we said, all these things are affairs that help these type of seminars possible. So everything can be run and organized properly. So everything to the best of our ability, make sure that we accommodate our guests and accommodate the people to the best of what we can do, what is in our capability. So again, like we said, we ask Allah Ta'ala to reward all of you for coming. And we ask Allah Ta'ala to allow us to continue in the future with these projects that are similar to what we did today. And we're in these days. And like we said, I also want to remind the brothers and sisters about the projects for the masjid, or the islahat, or the renovations of the masjid, which are very, very important that we try to complete. As you see, like you said, we had to get porta potties outside the masjid. So you see the situation. Alhamdulillah, like we said, for the past 5 months I've been here, walillahil hamdu wal minna, that there has been a lot of forward movement. And I think that this was the walillahil hamd, by the fadl of Allah and His mercy and His minnah, what He has bestowed upon the community by allowing our great, from the kibar al-ulama, now in these days and times we need to be firm and cling to the ulama. As we are living in trivial times where a lot of fitan comes and confuses and rocks and shifts the people. But like we said, we highly encourage that one of the ways you protect yourself and fortify yourself from falling into those type of matters that will destroy you and make you deviate is learning usul salafiyah. Oh, he's praying. Usul salafiyah. Learning usul salafiyah will be your shield, your protection, and that which will guide you and enlighten you. So these ways of darkness will come. You'll be able to what? Be enlightened, and you'll be able to stay firm. The only way that you can stay firm in these days and times, or from the ways, is learning usul salafiyah. You hold on to your usul. When fitna comes, you know how to react. You know what to do. You know what position to take. Well, you know, not position to take, but you know what to do to attain the correct position by asking the ulama. So those things are very detrimental. To come to learn your religion, that we constantly remind the people for the ilm and learn the ilm al-shar'i, come into the masjid to try to learn, bring your kids to learn tawheed and aqidah. We constantly remind the people. They are the most urgent of affairs. Like an emergency when you cut yourself or you might hurt yourself and your body and blood is coming out profusely, you rush to the hospital. Learning Aqidah Salafiyah is like that. Learning Aqidah to Salafiyah is like that. It's an emergency that you learn it without a hesitation. Learning what Tawheed is, and learning what monotheism is, and what polytheism is, and what form it comes in, and what shape it could come in. All these things are just as if someone came to you and maybe hurt you, and blood is coming out and you're about to die, and you rush to the hospital. That's how you should be learning your Aqidah. And these are the things that we stress to the people. Because if you don't learn it, your shield will be lifted and you'll be open to every type of wave of fitan that's out there. You'll just blow with the currents, or you'll blow away with the currents, and that's it. Then Allah Ta'ala, as we know, is constantly replacing people. Every single day. Ya ma'ashal ikhwa. And we know the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ was Sahih al-Imam al-Albani, who is also mentioned silsila. As we know the hadith, I've said to the brothers constantly on a consistent basis, إِلَّا قَلْبَ ابْنُ آدَمْ أَشَدُّ انْقِلَابَةٍ مِنَ الْقِدْرِ عِنْدَ غَلَيَانِهَا. The Prophet ﷺ that he mentioned and said, he says, لَقَلْبَ ابْنُ آدَمْ أَشَدُّ انْقِلَابَةٍ مِنَ الْقِدْرِ عِنْدَ غَلَيَانِهَا. He said that most definitely that the heart of Ibn Adam, he said that it flips. It flips so severely, more than a person or more than a pot when it reaches its boiling point. He said that the qalb of Ibn Adam, that he said it flips so severely, more than a pot, then it reaches its boiling point. That's tremendous. So number one is a learning of usul salafiyah. Then you have to, secondly, constantly ask Allah day and night for thabat, stability, like our brother said in his beneficial talk. Asking for stability, asking for firmness. That's the second way that you stay firm. It's the other way that you stay firm. So you have to have an ilm of usul salafiyah. That's your what? Fortification shield. Secondly, constantly asking Allah Ta'ala day and night for al-afiyah. Asking Allah to protect you and shield you, and not to be tested in your what? In your religion, like we mentioned in the previous lectures and the khutbah that we gave Friday, asking Allah, Allahumma inni as'aluka al-'afwa al-'afiyah fi dunya wal-akhirah, was'aluka al-'afwa al-'afiyah fi dini wa dunyaya wa ahli wa mali. اللهم استر عوراتي وآمن روعاتي واحفظني من بين يدي من خلفي وعن يميني وعن شمالي من فوقي وأعوذ بعظمتك أن أغتال من تحتي. And it says in the narration, the Prophet ﷺ make that dua morning and what? And in the evening. And the evening starts after Asr, not after Maghrib as some people think. After Asr. You understand, everyone? Make that dua constantly, the morning and the day. Asking for al-afiyah, that you be not tested in your religion. Tested in affairs that will rock you and shift you until you're blown away with the currents of fitan. Because fitan, ya ma'ashal ikhwan, these days, ma aktharaha. How many different types of traps that are set up that shaitan sets for the mu'min? Because shaitan knows that the people of Tawheed and Sunnah Salafiyah is the only people that have the lifeline left from the people. The true lifeline is with Ahl Sunnah and the awliya of Allah, Ahl Tawheed, Ahl Sunnah. So he comes in their ranks to destroy them because he knows the life is left in them. The most. The lifeline is the strongest with the people of Sunnah, Salafiyin. For that reason, the way you stay protected, ya ma'ashal ikhwa, is like we said, to have these seminars, going through these books of Sharia. As we know, Sharia by Abu Bakr al-Ajurri is considered a marji' in the books of Aqa'id. It's because of references that we go back in affairs of Aqeedah to learn Minhaj Salafi. In which, like we said, it is of the utmost urgency that you read those books and that you learn them and study them. And learn that, especially, like we talked about, and we give in the khutbah every Friday, usul al-thalatha. Like I said, put yourself in a position where you hurt yourself, you got to go to the hospital. That is the same way you're supposed to be learning Aqeedah and Tawheed. The same way, rushing like it's an emergency. For the last thing we say, and I wanted to remind myself and the brothers and the sisters, like we said, you see the islahat of the masjid, it is progressing somewhat and bit by bit. But you see, we don't like for our sisters to be using porta potties outside. We don't like that. Nor do we, I don't think any brother, inshallah, from the husbands of our wives and our families are appreciative for them to leave out the masjid, they have to use a porta potty. And we see that there's one bathroom on the other side. And there's porta potties for the brothers outside. Even though the porta potties are clean, alhamdulillah. The porta potties were very clean, alhamdulillah. They were good quality porta potties. But at the end of the day, we know that nobody wants to be using porta potties for the place of prayer and their place of worship, for the house of Allah. So that's the reason why we constantly urging the people, we're asking them, please, to aid the house of Allah and to aid the da'wat al-salafiyah of all that you can do to sacrifice. We're not going to be like those in East Orange, New Jersey, to shut the door and try to now do other things in order to get the people to spend their money and make them feel like they're munafiqeen and try to make them think they're the lowliest creatures in the dunya. But however, we're not going to go to that extreme. But however, we still want to remind the people that this is da'wat al-salafiyya that we're trying to propagate in this area and spread. Especially in this area and the other masajid in the other areas. And you will find that the people that are upon error and the people are upon misguidance and falsehood, they're spending day and night in order to spread their falsehood. And you find that they lay their money down in order for the incorrect message to be spread. But however, like we said, when it comes to spreading what is the truth, we need to put more effort in. More effort. And also likewise trying to utilize every avenue to make sure that the da'wat al-salafiyya is being propagated, and that we're also likewise trying to establish a school for our kids, because I know everybody in this community and in the different communities are tired of sending their children to places where they don't want them to go in the first place. They don't want them to go to the Ikhwani Masajid. They're complaining. We don't want our children going to so-and-so masjid or so-and-so place or so-and-so center. We don't want them going to the public or the non-Muslim public schools especially. But however, like we said, when it comes to the masjid, you get out what you put in. You get out what you put in. You put in the effort, you see the fruits, inshallah. You put in the work, the hard work and the sacrifice, and inshallah, by the tawfiq of Allah, you'll see the fruits of it. But it comes bit by bit, and hard work and diligence. And sometimes you're not going to be energetic. Sometimes you're going to be weary and tired. All of us have experienced that. Our brother Abu Abbas, I'm sure, has experienced. Seeking knowledge is not easy. I've experienced it. And to inshallah, we will continue to experience it because we'll be tulab al-ilm all the way until we die. But sometimes you're up 2 hours, sometimes 2 hours of sleep, sometimes 4 hours of sleep. It's not going to get 6 hours of sleep, 8 hours of sleep every day. لا ينال العلم براحة الجسد. The ilm is not attained by relaxation of the body. But it's not just in that affair. It's in affairs of everything that is beneficial. It's not going to be done by relaxation. It's hard work, diligence, perseverance, sacrifice. From my brother, and I'm not going to say his name, who sacrificed for me, for his family. What he just did a couple weeks ago was a noble act. And I don't want to break his back or tell him who he is. I'm going to keep it sealed who he is. But he did a sacrifice. He says, you need to go on Umrah because you need to establish the dawah. You need to go on Umrah. Here. And he told his family said, he needs to go on Umrah, leave me. Let him go on Umrah in my place. That's sacrifice. You know what came as a result of it? By that sacrifice, by the fadl of Allah, I was able, alhamdulillah, by the fadl of Allah, in order to get these telelinks hooked up. With the ulama of the sunnah. See what that sacrifice brought? Something very beneficial. And these sacrifices have to be one has to make it. So he didn't allow his wife to make Umrah, for him to go on Umrah, and his wife said, no, let the imam take my ticket. That's a very noble what? Act of sacrifice. She said this is benefit for the community. Not thinking about themselves and thinking about the benefit of themselves. Thinking about the community as a whole and having what they call bu'at an-nadhr, having and being farsighted of what will be beneficial for the future. That's how we need to be, people. Our brothers and sisters, we need to be like this. Being farsighted. Our children are being born. I'm having kids. I'm having 3 or 4 or 5 kids. Where am I going to send them to school? Hey. Because all of us are worried about the rectification of our kids, especially them living in this type of society. We're worried about our kids, and some of us are right now sending them to those masajid, those places that we don't want them going there. So now, like we said, you see the rectification or the progress that we're trying to make. So we asking the people, like we said, to aid the message of what we're trying to raise. Well, alhamdulillah, brother Abu Muhammad al-Maghribi, hafidhullah, and what he raised last night was very, mashallah, tabarakallah, very kind. And it's sad that he has to go to another community in his city in order to what? Support another community in another city. When the people here are being asked to fulfill, inshallah, all of our collective duty to make sure that the house of Allah is progressing and the schools being built, and that to make sure that the one also likewise who are trying to make sure that the ilm is disseminated properly from the administration and everything is straight, the bills are paid. To me, it's an aib. It's an aib. It's something of a discrepancy and offensive to know that bills are backed up in the masjid. That's something that bothers me every day. Because if I had the money, the masjid bills would never be backed up. If I had the money, it would be even no question. Listen, the bills, well, how much? Take it. I don't want to hear no more. It's that simple. That's offensive. The house of Allah, the bills are backed up. What's wrong with us? Our mentality, we need to work on trying to rectify to make sure that the house of Allah is consistently taken care of. Nobody should have to worry about the bills backed up. These things need to be established. Now we need to start focusing on school, setting a school for our children, building a school for the children, making sure that, like we said, start a dawah center, all these things we want to do. But it takes what? It takes monetary assistance. It takes effort. So that's the reason why I'm reminding our brothers and sisters of this matter. We want them to be, like we said, in a bigger place for the masjid as far as the sister side, because you see the wall that the sisters see on that sister side, that's going to get knocked down so they can have a bigger side. But all these, like we said, it takes money. You see the circumstances that we're in. So those who are listening online and those who are in front of me now, so we can take in consideration what we need to do as a people collectively. as Muslims, as Salafis and brothers, just like our brother said, and as a family. And like he said, he gave a great benefit and a great reminder to saying we need to stop using these words, that brother, that sister. We're all a family. And that's how we should be looking at each other. Not looking at each other like, oh, you're from North Philly, he's from South Philly, he's dark skinned, I'm light skinned, he's Moroccan, I'm from here, I'm from so-and-so city, I'm from so-and-so hood. All these are affairs of Jahiliyyah, ya ma'ashar al-ikhwa. The Prophet ﷺ came to eradicate. The Prophet ﷺ knew that these are affairs that were going to destroy the brotherhood. That's why he came, disseminated and eradicated it. To know that what unites us is one aqeedah, one minhaj, one methodology, and those who stay firm upon it, they're your brother and they're your sister. And when we see our children, it's not, as we know, the statement goes, and this is a very beneficial statement and agrees with what we're upon and what we're trying to practice. It takes a village to raise children. It's not just upon me, the parent in the house, or the people that's running the masjid, the imam. I'll take my child, throw him to the imam. I've constantly told our brothers and sisters on many occasions, the children, in order for them to be rectified, the parents and the imam of the masjid, the person disseminating the knowledge, the people in the masjid, have to be on one page for the rectification of the child. They have to see eye to eye in what? Be on one page in regards to the children. Because all of us collectively are trying to rectify and cultivate this child properly. It takes a team collective effort from the parents in the house doing their part, and we're doing our part. And then looking at each other like we're what? Like we're one family. Just as our brother had noted and stated, like we said, which is very beneficial, and I'm glad he brought that to light, and I'm glad he brought that to attention to all of us. Stay away from these words, that brother, that sister. This sister over here is causing so many problems. Stay away from this. For that reason, just to remind us, and this is the last thing I wanted to leave off for what we're trying to raise in regards to the, alhamdulillah, by the fadl of Allah, a lot of money was given, but like we said, it was about 20,000 still left. 20,000. It's 20,000 left. And if brothers and sisters, collectively, and sisters, because there is sisters out there, and we know, we're not saying this in an offensive way. They do take care of their husbands. And they do take care of certain things that we know that some of our brothers, like we said, coming up short in. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to strengthen them, allow them to be maintainers fully. But at the same time, we're asking the sisters likewise, please, to donate to the masjid, not for the rectification of, like we said, this has nothing to do with me. This is the benefit of the community as a whole. That's what I'm concerned about. My concern is the benefit of the community, rectifying the community. Then I want, inshallah, after the community is established, to start moving to other projects. To try to get down to the kuffar, give down to the non-Muslims. Other things you're starting to have burnt another. Once we get this established, want a school for the kids, now we have to send people overseas so we can have qualified teachers. Then I'm trying to think, okay, now we want to try to get down to the non-Muslims. We got to set up a down center, make up pamphlets. We got to go out one day, distribute them to the non-Muslims. All these things, like I said, are in my mind. But we need a team of people cooperating together. And we need, like we said, support. So like I said, it's not just I'm just addressing our brothers in front of me, but I'm addressing also the people who's listening online. Well, alhamdulillah, the first focus, as the brother who donated the message, Jazakallah khairan, was here. He's a Yemeni brother. He's a Yemeni brother. And subhanAllah, Allah Ta'ala just created they're just different people, subhanAllah. They're different khalq. They're a different creation. You can see why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave them the greatest message in the dunya, the greatest message and the final message. He donated this whole message to him. And came up to him in the day. As soon as you talk to him, he moves out. And you just think to your mind, subhanAllah, that Allah ta'ala, they're different people, Shaykh. They're different. They give that the religion, they are the best of people. Absolutely. Absolutely. So don't forget, the brother donated the masjid and he wants to see progress likewise. You see, doing an excellent job. He said, focus on the bathrooms though. He started, focus on the bathroom. Bathrooms is the most important. Focus on that bathroom. So you got to have them bathrooms straightened out. He said, just go ahead and focus on this. So that's the reason why we're trying to get the money up. Because that needs to be established and finished firstly. Then, like we said, we go to the other parts after that. So the last thing we'll conclude, because I don't want to be tawil al-nafas, as they say. I don't want to be long-winded. But to conclude this dawah, like I said, it was very beneficial. These 3 days, mashallah, tabarakallah, was one of the most beneficial dawrat that I've seen here, mashallah, tabarakallah, in a long time. Besides our brothers of Germantown, who always establishes beneficial dawrat. But here specifically, I think this was something, is a planted thing in history here in Delaware. And that's not from my, la hawla minni wa la quwwa. That's not from myself. That's all from Allah ta'ala. And Allah knows best, maybe inshallah it's a sign of the diligence or the fruits of the brothers who've been here for years trying to establish the dawah. And struggling and struggling and struggling and struggling and struggling until Allah finally opened the door up for them. So the brothers who've been here working in the dawah for years, inshallah it's a sign that Allah ta'ala gives you, now rewarding you for your struggles that you've been going through. Inshallah. So for this reason, ya ma'ashal ikhwa, I say again, as far as the donations that we ask, any person could give, like we said, 10, 20 through Cash App. And I think Cash App now is the most easiest way. You can Cash App anything now. And all through PayPal. Again, I said to the brothers in the last lecture that the PayPal is ARRAZZAAQ302 at gmail.com. I'll say it again, ARRAZZAAQ302 at gmail.com. And the Cash App, I think the Cash App, you just got to press the last part, $. I don't think you have to do the type thing, the whole entire thing. $, as you press a $, ARRAZZAAQ302. That's for Cash App. So don't forget also the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ. I'm about to wrap it up now so we can pray, leave. It's getting late. The hadith of the Prophet ﷺ. Don't forget our brothers that we reminded us. Our brothers which is in the Sahihain, the Bukhari and Muslim, the Prophet ﷺ said, كل يوم يصبح ابن آدم ينادي ملكان كريمان فيقول أحدهما اللهم أعطي المنفق خلفا ويقول الآخر اللهم أعطي الممسك تلفا. The Prophet ﷺ said, every morning that the ibad, or the Ibn Adam, comes upon the morning, ينادي ملكان كريمان فيقول أحدهما اللهم أعطي المنفق خلفا. He said, two generous angels that they call out, honorable angels call out, and they say every morning, oh Allah, give the one who spends khalafa. Give them better than what they had before. Give them that which will leave them something beneficial for them. And the one who's mumsik, the one who's stingy and holds back, give him talaf. Spoil his wealth. Spoil it. It's a dua from the malaika. So don't forget, brothers and sisters, this is a dua from the malaika, from which the Prophet ﷺ has mentioned. And if nothing from the kitab and sunnah moves us, there's nothing else that will be able to move us. The best speech is the speech of Allah. And the best guidance is the guidance of Muhammad ﷺ. So if that doesn't move us, then what will? So inshallah, bi'idhnillah, I hope that the brothers and sisters truly benefited from these dawrat, and I really make dua to Allah ta'ala, as'aluhu bi asma'ihi al-husna wa sifatihi al-ula an yuriyana al-haqqa haqqa wa yarzuqna ittiba'ah wa yuriyana al-batila batila wa yarzuqna ijtinabah wa an yuthabbitana wa iyyakum al-haqq ويتولانا وإياكم برعايته وحفظه في الدنيا والآخرة إنه سميع الدعاء. هذا وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك واشهد لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. Oh, I'm sorry.
الله أكبر الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمد رسول الله. حي على الصلاة، حي على الفلاح، قد قامت الصلاة، قد قامت الصلاة. الله أكبر الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله.
استووا واعتدلوا وتراصوا. استووا صفوفكم فإن تسوية الصفوف من تمام الصلاة.